Hello, all. This is today. I am going to talk about what we have about Apple company, and as you see, it is the company was started was founded by three people, and interestingly, as you all know, that Steve Jobs died a few years ago. Steve Wozniak is still alive. He's around 76 maybe or something. And Reynold Wayne, and he is still alive. And maybe it is 80 years old or so. And this person, Reynold Wayne, interesting person, because when they started Apple company, he sold his share to these two other owners for around 3,000, maybe less than $3,000, and if he had held to his shares, maybe by now he could have $200 billion. In the first few days, few years, he's asked them to give him maybe 2,000, 3,000. He got the money and he left. But anyhow, the Apple is famous for being an focusing on innovation. And I remember the first year, the first time that we had, iPhones, it created such an excitement in, among the users. And also it has an excellent design. Its focus is to make sure that it is providing excellent, excellent product. And this is also very important, and it is unparalleled customer loyalty. That's a very important concept in business because well, it has a loyal customers. By saying that means that if you have an iPhone or iPad, then next time you want to go and buy, you don't try. If you buy it once, you don't want to go to another brand and get another product, another phone, for example. Therefore, this concept and is one of the most famous companies. Apple is possibly is number one in terms of customer loyalty, and it is trying constantly on providing excellence and creativity, and it is encouraging its employees to think different. That is the motto that they have, and also pushing the boundaries, as you see, regarding the technology. It also focuses on simplicity. When you have, let's say, any of the products that it has, it is easy to use. You know it as the concept of user friendly, they call it. And it has obsession with simplicity, which is correct. If it is a complicated product, then many people won't be able to use it. Now it's, yeah, for example, if you have its iPhone, everybody can use it very easily without, although it has some features that we never use, that people don't use. But using it is very, very, user easy to use. Therefore, more it can, more people will use it, and they can increase the number of customers that they are using, their products. And also secrecy and confidentiality. Many times we don't know. They say Apple new, the product or something. Nobody knows. Once every, a few years they will have that, that presentation that suddenly they talk about what they have for the customers, what new products they have, but they don't talk about it. One thing, suppose you don't hear a lot these days about Apple, artificial intelligence. You all talked about Google, you mentioned that Google has Gemini, they, using a lot of artificial intelligence, but we don't know, we don't hear what Apple is doing regarding artificial intelligence. But in fact, it is involved in it, deeply involved, but it doesn't talk about it. And suddenly when the new product comes in, we will hear about, about it. And they call it, that's the kind of Apple way, that's the way they do their business. And the culture of secrecy. Therefore, corporate culture, it is secrecy about their products and sense of excitement. Suddenly they come and talk about their new, products, social, sustainability and social responsibility. That's another area many companies are focusing, on. And here it's talking about Apple is the most valuable company. The value of the Apple company at the moment is around $3 trillion, little bit maybe more than 3 trillion, or maybe around 3 trillion. And of course, these days, in the past few days, Microsoft has become the most valuable company. Let's say if Apple is 3 trillion, Microsoft is 3.1 trillion. And the third most valuable company now has become NVIDIA because it has gone up. NVIDIA already surpassed Amazon, it surpassed, I think, Google, and it is Facebook and all of them. And Nvidia maybe is around $2 trillion and is trying to move. And I won't be surprised if one day Nvidia becomes the most valuable company. The reason we say valuable, baby, how do they calculate this value of the companies? Imagine that. Suppose it's just I give you an example. Imagine that each share of Apple stocks is let's say $100, and if there are 10 shares of Apple, you multiply 10 times 100 would be 1,000. That becomes value of, for example, Apple company. Therefore, you multiply number of stocks by the number of shares outstanding, by the number of shares that are out there, and you get the value. And which means if they decide to sell Apple, for example, to Microsoft has to pay $3 trillion to the shareholders of Apple. Therefore, for now, at the moment, although this says that Apple is the most valuable company, it was a valuable company up to a few days ago. Now, Microsoft is the most valuable company, but sometimes Apple will, will become more valuable depending on how their stocks, perform. And it brings range of skills. It has some leaders that each leader has a diverse background. It is important that to make sure that the companies have some leadership that they come from diverse backgrounds. Someone is great with finance, someone is great with technology, someone great is management. Therefore, as you all know, I heard that you might have heard that Steve Jobs, for example, was not as much into programming and information technology as much as he was a visionary and was more like a good business manager. Therefore they bring some excellent talent, a diverse talent. And it gives very highly desirable, iconic products, which, and also this is an interesting concept. They say disruptive markets. There are some companies that they are called disruptive. One of them is Apple. One of them, as you all know, is Amazon. Suddenly, when they come, it disrupts other, businesses. And, another one was Tesla, with that car that suddenly came up. Therefore, this concept of disruptive, businesses that they come and they bring such a new product that it makes it hard for other companies to compete with them. That's a new concept. They bring new products. Therefore, that is another, another word that you will see regularly. And they are control customization and user experience. That's their focus. And customer satisfaction. We know that the Apple customers are very happy, and their customers are brand ambassadors of them, which means that the people who own Apple products, they talk to other people how happy they are. Therefore, that's a very good way of spreading out the word, and that's a free marketing that they use in order, in order to encourage people to use their products.